Hello, this is Nas from Info.Tech.Journal. It's not a journal entry for me. Today, the journal entry is going to be another lab slash scenario. You might find it at your work environment. Basically, the concept for this particular video is going to be we are configuring a switching environment where it uses VTP version 3, and in combination with MST, which is basically multiple spanning tree. So here we're gonna do is we're gonna have 4 switches. We're gonna have 4 switches. And we're gonna have 4 switches. Because these are our switches. Switch 1, switch 2, switch 3, and switch 4. I actually don't like it like that. I like it this 1, 2, 3, and 4. The maximum zoom. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we're gonna connect them. Oh, that's a bit funky, isn't it? So, oh, let me try it. No, EVNG with this big much of a zoom. Okay, so let's see 0 and 0, then 0 and 0, 0 0, 1 1, 1 1. That's enough. So with VTP and with spanning tree, we probably have to configure. We not probably we will have to configure the trunks. So we'll manually configure the trunks on all these devices. One. Oh, try it double. 2, 3, and 4. I'm missing 3. So switch 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, like this. As usual. Let's make it bigger. That's pretty big. So this is another off the cuff video I'm recording just for myself. If you haven't watched the video and you find it useful, I'm glad. So we have our switches, and our switches are basically this. I made a video on what terminal emulator I'm using. I'm using Secure CRT. You can use others if you want, but this is what I'm using. So I'm just going to send my commands to all for now, and I'll make it immediate. I just want to configure the hostname. Hostname. This one is switch 1. This one switch 2. This one switch 3. And this one switch 4. Right. Currently on our lab environment, we do not have multiple spanning tree configured. So we just say so spanning tree. IEEE, the traditional version, not even RSTP or PVST plus. Rapid PVST plus. My apologies. So we're gonna configure this for spanning tree for MST. So we're gonna configure spanning, not spam, spanning tree mode MST. And we're gonna do it for the other ones as well. Spanning tree mode MST. Spanning tree mode MST. In the terms of order of operations, it would have been best if we did trunks first, but that's a lab. I'm just saying it to myself as well, so I don't do it in real production network. Sometimes when you do a lab, make sure you practice what you're actually doing in the production network. Show interface trunk. So there's no trunks. Okay, so if I look at my interface right now, they're probably gonna be not dynamic desirable. They're gonna be just auto. So show interface Ethernet 0/0 switchboard, and this is dynamic auto. If you're studying for certification or anything, auto, nothing will happen. Yeah, auto, nothing will happen. Let's do a quick review on dynamic desirable or just TTP in general. So let's just say if we say conf d interface Ethernet 0/0 on switch 2. If we say show interface Ethernet 0/0 switch port, this side is auto, so I'm gonna make this side desirable. So I'm gonna say switch port mode trunk switch port no dynamic desirable. I'll do that. We'll wait a bit. Do show interface trunk, and as you can see here, that's basically it for dynamic desirable. When one side is desirable, the other side is auto, they'll form a trunk. And you see here N is negotiated because the trunking is ISL. This is quite old. We actually want it to be DTP. That's just a quick segue on dynamic trunking protocol. But I just want everything to be static, so this is what I'm gonna do. I am gonna make sure everything is in enable mode. Okay. And I'm gonna send all my commands here in my all the command window. Make conf state. I'm gonna say interface range Ethernet 0/0 to 1 switch port mode trunk. Nope. If I do this, it's gonna yell at me because it says it's auto encapsulation, so I have to make sure the encapsulation is set to either ISL or .1Q. Of course, we're gonna do it as .1Q. Okay, and then we say switch port mode trunk again. Okay, now if we go out, we say show interface trunk. We have on and on. That's how we know we just set the mode to trunk, and all of them are trunking. That's good. All of them are trunking. Next thing I want to do, for VTP to work, you have to make sure that trunking is enabled. That's a prerequisite. So now we're gonna do VTP. So we're just gonna jump straight to VTP version 3. Okay, all the 1 and 2s, the usual VTP server, VTP client, password and domain. We're just gonna skip that because this is not really a theory video for me. This is basically a configuration video, because the thing here is I want to show you there's a gotcha or something that I forgot and took me a while to figure out what I forgot to do. The goal is, again, just to reiterate, I'm using VTP version 3 to propagate MST instances across all my switches. Okay, that's the thing that I want to do. So let's continue. So let's go VTP version 3 from the VTP. Let's just do it on all switches at one time so we don't waste time. Okay, conf the VTP, sorry, not version, not mode, sorry, version 3. Okay, I'm gonna say VTP domain. I'm gonna say info, VTP password, info. Okay. And you also have options of hidden and secret if you just want to encrypt it or you just want to hide it altogether. It's good to be secure, but most of the times if you're not documenting this well or you're doing it in a lab, just don't do hidden or secret. You don't want to just forget what you're actually doing. And then if you have an extra space, make sure there's no space. Okay, now it's good. Okay, so if you say show VTP status, okay, VTP current version running is 1. Interesting. VTP version 3. Enter. Did I not type that in? And it said, oh yeah, cannot set version because domain is not set. Okay, that's again an order of operation. You just have to make sure that domain name is set first. Well, let's just do it again. VTP version 3. Okay, so now show VTP status. Okay, running version 3. Running version 3. Switch 3 is running version 3. And switch 4 is running version 3. So for future VLANs, there are servers. Okay. So this is where I just do my usual thing. So first, we're gonna make the VLANs. I'm gonna say VLAN 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay. VTP VLAN configuration is not allowed when device is not the primary server for VLAN database. That's what you have to do when you're in VTP mode 3. So you say VTP server. No, sorry, not VTP server. It's actually VTP primary. And I'll just say VTP primary. You can do either two options. You can just say VTP primary, and you have to wait. You can do a cache return here, and you have to wait, or you just say force. Yeah, just say force. So this forces it to be the VTP primary server, especially in instance for VTP version 3. So I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna make my VLAN, exit, show VLAN, and you have your VLANs. Okay. Typical standard VTP. So switch 2 has a VLAN, switch 3 has a VLAN, and switch 4 has VLAN as well. Right. Now this is where the fun starts a bit. We already saw that this is spanning tree, MST, instance 1. No, this one's meant instance. So just show spanning tree because nothing is created right now. I didn't make an instance. So this is the default instance where all the VLANs are in. Excuse me. So this switch is for the common spanning tree. So what this is common IST. Basically it's just the common where everything gets lumped in if you haven't configured any instances. So we're gonna configure our instances right now. Spanning tree MST configuration. And that's where we configure our MST instances. The instance 1. I'm gonna say VLAN. So let's just make this for odd numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I said odd. 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9. Instance, you can have options here. We can just say that's 2 for VLAN. 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10. Exit. And we say show MST. Show spanning tree MST configuration. And you can see here, this is a VLAN and MST instances that we created, and this is MST instance 0 or the common IST. Okay. So with VTP, it's supposed to also, no, again, I say again, with VTP version 3, the capability has also to propagate the instances, not only just the VLAN. We saw just now, it also propagated the VLAN information. So when I was doing this lab, I looked at my other switches. I said show spanning tree MST configuration, and lo and behold, there was nothing. Nothing was there. So I said, "What's going on?" So I wasn't really sure what was going on. Right. So I said, "Oh yeah, I probably forgot that same thing again." So I just said, "BTP primary," and then BTP primary, and I said VTP primary MST. So now this is primary for the MST feature. So I said show VTP status. I looked at VLAN primary server MST. Oh, Why is MST mode transparent? Okay, with version 3, the mode it's in is also needs to be set for the particular feature that you want. So this just saying MST VTP primary MST with the same logic as saying your MST primary for VLANs or MST primary. The keyword MST primary just says, okay, this is MST primary, I am the primary, and automatically by default it will just say MST primary for VLAN. When I say MST VTP primary MST without changing the mode, it won't effectively do what I want to do. Again, just a quick review. You have server, client, and transparent. Transparent, basically, if it receives VTP messages or updates, it would just pass it along to whoever's in that domain and would not take action on it. Okay? A client, when it receives an update from a VTP server, it would actually take action on the update if the password and domain matches. So before we need to do anything, we actually have to change this mode. So we're gonna go to configuration, okay, VTP mode server. Now if you question mark this, you can actually see now there's MST and VLAN. So I'm gonna say MST and question mark as a character return. I'm good to go. Okay. Now this is mode server, and I say here VTP primary MST again. And then this is what I was saying just now. If you forget the word force, it would actually go out to make sure there is no conflict and just to tell that, oh, I am okay to be the primary. This is the difference in terms of if the VTP feature for MST was still transparent and we execute the command VTP primary MST, it will say that it's only available for configured as server. And if it's a server, it would actually do this and we'll try to find a conflict. And if not, there's no conflict found, you can actually continue and confirm to be VTP server. This does not auto-magically make your other VTPs instances in the switches available to digest any updates, because the feature set for that particular VTP operation for feature MST is still transparent. So if you say show spanning tree MST configuration, it will not accept the instances. You actually again have to perform the same thing here to say VTP mode client this time, and also gives you the option for MST. So I am just gonna copy this and give it to my other switches. Right, that is done. So if we now go back to switch 2, show spanning tree MST configuration, we now see our instances, and if we say show spanning tree MST1, this is for instance 1. You can see our bridge and our root. Okay, so we now know that not only the VLAN has been successfully propagated or informed to the other switches, we also have our MST instances propagated or informed to the other switches that also participates in the VTP domain with the correct password. So that was the gotcha. Basically, the gotcha was when I configured VTP, my mentality was still in VTP version 2. With VTP version 2, you just make sure everything is server. It's server by default. Domain name and password was correct. Trunks were available, and you will get the VLANs. With VTP version 3, you have to actually make sure that each feature set, VTP status, each feature needs to be a server, client, or not. The default would be a transparent. and then from there you have to actually make sure that it is primary. So let's say if I make switch 2, for example, show VTP status, see here, this is still a server for VLAN, but it is not the primary server. So if I was to make a VLAN here, VLAN 111, it would say that I am not primary. VTP version 3 is not as worrisome as 1 and 2, VTP version 1 and 2, because you do hear horror stories where people take out old switches that has the same VTP domain, same VTP password as your production network, and the switch was actually left in a desk and it was being used to test or used to study or used to lab something and had a higher revision number. So the higher revision number is, for example, if I say show VTP status right here, primary ID revision number. So this revision number, whoever has the higher revision number would just basically wipe out your VLANs or add VLANs here, throw VLANs there, and so forth. So having that extra layer of saying that your primary, are you sure you want to make it a primary? Are you sure that you want to add these VLANs in? Just adds that extra layer of safety. Not that VTP is widely used. Some shops use it if it's like a whole Cisco shop. Okay. Basically, that was the thing. The gotcha was make sure that you do primary server, or make sure that feature MST somebody is a server, not everyone's a transparent mode. When you're a server, make sure it's a primary, and after that your MST instances should propagate. Okay, I will add some notes to the comments and then you just follow along. Thank you for listening. That's it from me.